Hello everyone. My name is Haku, and I'm a Buddhist monk from Japan. Thank you for joining me today. Before we begin, if you find this video insightful or helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to this channel. It helps us continue sharing ideas and reaching others who might also benefit. Now let's dive into today's topic, the connection between cognitive science and Buddhism. At first glance, these might seem like very different worlds. Cognitive science is rooted in modern research and scientific methodology, while Buddhism is a spiritual practice that dates back over 2,500 years. But if we look deeper, both are deeply concerned with understanding the nature of the mind. And in this way, they complement each other beautifully. Let me start with a question. How well do you know your own mind? You might think, I live with my mind every day, so of course I know it well. But what if I told you that much of what your mind does operates beneath your conscious awareness? This idea is central to both modern neuroscience and Buddhist teachings. Cognitive science has shown us that our brains are filled with automatic processes. For example, think about the way you react when you hear a notification on your phone. Without thinking, your hand may move to check it. This is an automatic response, shaped by habit and repeated behavior. Buddhist teachings have long spoken about this, though in different terms. We call it samskara, which refers to the mental impressions and patterns that drive much of our behavior. In cognitive science, we also hear about neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt. In Buddhism, this concept is mirrored in the practice of mindfulness. By paying close attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions, we can begin to reshape the patterns in our minds. Science tells us that this can literally rewire the brain. Buddhism has taught us for centuries that mindfulness can transform our suffering into peace and understanding. Both fields agree on something very important. Our minds are not fixed. They are flexible. And through intentional practice, we can improve our mental and emotional well-being. In this video, we'll explore how these ideas overlap and how you can apply them in your daily life. We will look at three areas: understanding your automatic reactions, cultivating mindfulness, and finding freedom from suffering. Stay with me as we take this journey together. Let's continue our exploration by diving deeper into the idea of automatic reactions. Have you ever noticed how often you respond to situations without really thinking? For example, someone cuts you off in traffic, and before you know it, you feel a surge of anger. Or maybe you hear a kind word from a friend, and instantly you feel happy. These reactions happen so quickly that it's easy to think they are beyond our control. But are they? In cognitive science, we learn that these reactions are often driven by the brain's fight or flight system. It's an ancient mechanism designed to protect us from danger. While this system is useful in emergencies, it can also lead us to overreact in situations that are not life-threatening. For instance, a harsh email from a coworker might trigger the same stress response as being chased by a wild animal. This is because our brains don't always distinguish between real danger and perceived threats. Buddhism offers a similar explanation, but with a spiritual perspective. We often talk about the three poisons: attachment, aversion, and ignorance. These are the forces that drive much of our automatic behavior. When you get angry at that driver or feel stressed about an email, it's often because of aversion. When you crave something, like checking your phone for another like or notification, that's attachment at work. And when you react without understanding why, that's ignorance. Here's where it gets interesting. Both cognitive science and Buddhism agree that we can interrupt these automatic patterns. In cognitive science, one technique is called cognitive reframing. It's about taking a step back and asking yourself, is this reaction helpful? Is there another way to see this situation? Similarly, in Buddhism, we practice vipassana, or insight meditation, to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. By doing this, we begin to see our reactions clearly and create space for a different response. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you're feeling irritated because someone interrupted you during a conversation. Instead of letting that irritation grow, you pause and observe the feeling. You might say to yourself, this is irritation. It feels tight in my chest. You don't push it away or act on it. You simply notice it. In that moment of awareness, you've already started to break the automatic pattern. Modern research supports this. Studies show that mindfulness can reduce the intensity of negative emotions by allowing the brain to engage its prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking. Buddhism has always taught this wisdom. By becoming aware of our thoughts and feelings, we can choose how to respond rather than being controlled by them. So the next time you feel an automatic reaction taking over, try this. Pause, take a deep breath, and notice what's happening inside you. With practice, you'll find that even the strongest emotions can be managed with calm and clarity. Now that we've explored the nature of automatic reactions and the power of mindfulness, let's turn to the ultimate goal shared by both cognitive science and Buddhism: freedom from suffering. This might sound like a lofty idea, but it's actually quite practical. Both perspectives agree that suffering arises not from external circumstances, but from how we respond to them. In cognitive science, there's a term called negativity bias. Our brains are wired to focus on negative experiences more than positive ones. This was helpful for survival in ancient times, but today it can cause unnecessary stress. For example, you might receive 10 compliments in a day, but it's the one critical comment that stays with you. Sound familiar? Buddhism explains this phenomenon in terms of dukkha, often translated as suffering or dissatisfaction. It teaches that suffering doesn't come from the events themselves, but from the way we cling to or resist them. For instance, when something good happens, we want it to last forever. And when something bad happens, we want it to go away immediately. Both of these desires create tension in the mind. The path to freedom, according to Buddhism, is to let go of this clinging and resistance. This doesn't mean we stop caring about life. It means we accept things as they are and respond with wisdom instead of reactivity. In cognitive science, this aligns with practices like acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, which helps people focus on what truly matters, instead of getting caught up in fleeting emotions. Here's a simple exercise to start this process. The next time you feel frustrated or stressed, try saying to yourself, "This is how it is right now." Not in a defeated way, but with curiosity and acceptance. Notice how your body feels, how your mind reacts. Then ask yourself, what is the best way I can respond to this situation? You might find that by accepting the moment as it is, you open the door to peace and clarity. Both cognitive science and Buddhism remind us of a profound truth. Suffering is not a fixed state. It can be transformed through awareness, compassion, and intentional practice. You don't need to be perfect or enlightened to start. Each small step you take makes a difference. As we come to the end of this video, I encourage you to reflect on what we've discussed today. How might you bring mindfulness into your daily life? What automatic reactions can you begin to observe and gently reshape? These small practices can lead to big changes over time. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to this channel. Your support helps us continue to share these teachings and reach more people who may benefit from them. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos, where we dive deeper into topics like mindfulness, meditation, and the intersection of science and spirituality. You might find something that resonates with you. Thank you for spending this time with me. May you find peace and clarity on your journey. Until next time.